It's hard to understand why so many people still dislike the Tesla Semi, even though it's the world's longest-range electric truck and costs as little as 15 cents per mile to operate, something no conventional Class 8 semi-truck can match. Part of the backlash may come from Elon Musk's bold promises and the repeated delays that plagued the program. But now, the Tesla Semi has quietly revealed its two biggest upgrades since entering real-world production: an FSD system being prepared behind the scenes and a newly redesigned cab built to maximize efficiency. The idea of a Class 8 truck hauling freight down the highway without a driver is already sparking intense debate. We're talking about a vehicle that's longer, heavier, has more blind spots, carries far greater momentum, and often pulls a massive trailer behind it. One wrong decision could turn into a disaster. So will the Tesla Semi actually become more effective with this new capability? At first glance, the concept of a fully autonomous semi-truck seems unrealistic. The risks appear to outweigh the potential benefits by a wide margin. Yet as early as last year, Elon Musk hinted that the Tesla Semi would eventually receive full self-driving capability, claiming it would transform the truck into a money machine. And judging by the latest developments, it looks like Tesla's CEO wasn't joking.
I think ultimately we'll make over millions probably, of the Tesla Semi. This is really going to be something that you'll see all over the place, and it'll also be autonomous, or have the ability to go autonomous down the road.
So how is FSD for the Tesla Semi actually being developed? A Tesla Semi was recently spotted near Fremont, California, equipped with a large validation rig mounted on its roof. Based on what has been shared, this setup is designed to collect highly accurate, real-world environmental data, what engineers call ground truth validation. That may sound technical, but the basic idea is actually pretty simple. Whenever a Tesla drives down the road, its cameras and neural networks are constantly making predictions about the world around them. The system identifies lane markings, vehicles ahead, traffic signs, road markings, motorcycles, pedestrians, barriers, curves, merging traffic, shadows, and even subtle situations that many human drivers barely notice. But to determine whether the AI is seeing the world correctly, Tesla needs a reliable answer key. That's exactly what ground truthing provides. The validation equipment records the environment with a level of accuracy that exceeds the vehicle's onboard perception system. Engineers can then compare what the AI believed it saw with what actually existed in the real world. If the vehicle misidentifies a lane, misjudges distance, mistakes one object for another, or reacts too slowly in a particular scenario, the ground truth data allows Tesla to refine and improve the model. With the Tesla Semi, however, the challenge becomes an entirely different game. This isn't a Model 3 or Model Y weighing a few thousand pounds. It's a Class 8 tractor hauling a trailer with a gross combined weight of up to 82,000 pounds. It's longer, heavier, carries far more momentum, requires a much longer stopping distance, has more complex blind spots, and the consequences of every incorrect decision are dramatically greater. All it takes is a passenger car slamming on the brakes, another vehicle cutting in too closely, a slippery stretch of pavement, a short merge lane, or even a trailer beginning to sway slightly. In every one of those situations, the Semi's driving system has to understand what's happening faster and more accurately than it would in a passenger car. Because a small steering correction in a sedan might simply avoid an obstacle. On a fully loaded semi-truck, that exact same maneuver could send the entire trailer behind it swinging out of line. That's why the sighting of a Tesla Semi equipped with a ground truth validation rig has sparked so much debate. People have essentially split into two camps, those who support the technology and those who remain firmly against it. As we all know, Tesla has made significant progress with full self-driving. Over the past year alone, many Tesla owners have shared stories of FSD preventing crashes in situations where they believe an accident would have been almost unavoidable. Tesla's own safety data also suggests that vehicles using FSD experience one serious crash roughly every 5.3 million miles, compared with about one every 660,000 miles for human drivers. When it comes to Class 8 trucks, the stakes are even higher. In the United States, there are typically between 4,500 and 6,200 fatal crashes involving heavy-duty trucks each year. In many of those cases, the people who lose their lives are not the truck drivers themselves, but the occupants of other vehicles. That's exactly why Tesla is so eager to bring full self-driving to a tractor like the Semi. If the technology can consistently reduce human error in one of the largest and heaviest vehicles on the road, its impact on highway safety could be enormous. Of course, there's still no official timeline for the rollout, and it's far too early to say that the Tesla Semi will be driving itself anytime soon. But seeing these validation vehicles operating on public roads tells us something important. Tesla isn't just talking about autonomy and presentation slides. The company is collecting real-world data in real-world conditions using real production trucks. That becomes even more interesting when you look at the refreshed Tesla Semi itself. Tesla didn't simply bolt on a few extra cameras and call it an upgrade. The updated Semi features 10 exterior cameras along with one cabin-facing camera. Today, those cameras support safety features such as automatic emergency braking and lane keep assist. But from a long-term perspective, it's clear the hardware has been designed for something much bigger, giving the truck the level of environmental awareness needed to support full self-driving in one of the most demanding transportation environments imaginable. And this is where Tesla has a very different advantage over traditional truck manufacturers. Many companies can add more sensors, more radar, more LiDAR, or more driver assistance software. But Tesla is trying to do what it has already done with its passenger vehicles. Build a unified ecosystem where the software, data, cameras, neural networks, and electric drivetrain all work together as a single integrated system. With the Semi, that level of integration is even more important. Autonomous driving in a heavy-duty truck isn't just about staying in a lane or following the vehicle ahead. It's also about managing vehicle mass, traction, trailer dynamics, regenerative braking, chassis stability, and the truck's response in emergency situations. That's where Tesla's Vehicle Dynamics Control, or VDC, is attracting a lot of attention. Recently, Dan Priestley, who leads the Tesla Semi program, shared a video showing the Semi driving on an icy test surface in Alaska, a location Tesla frequently uses to evaluate new capabilities and validate improvements to its heavy-duty truck. In the footage, the truck briefly begins to lose its line and slides slightly off its intended path before quickly regaining control. For a vehicle of this size, that's an incredibly important moment. On a low-traction surface, even a minor slide can become the beginning of a jackknife, where the trailer swings sideways and folds toward the tractor, creating one of the most dangerous situations a semi-truck can encounter. According to Tesla, VDC uses high-resolution sensor data together with extremely precise multi-motor control to maintain traction and stability on challenging surfaces such as snow and ice. In simple terms, the system continuously monitors wheel speed, steering angle, lateral forces, and the vehicle's overall motion. It then adjusts torque delivery or selectively applies braking at individual wheels in real time to bring the truck back into a stable, controlled state before a small loss of traction develops into a much more serious incident. Here's a fact that very few people realize. On conventional diesel semi-trucks, traction control typically intervenes only after the wheels have already started to slip. It does that by reducing engine power or applying the brakes. But because the system relies on a diesel engine, a transmission, drive shafts, and hydraulic brakes, there's always a certain amount of delay before those corrections take effect. The Tesla Semi is fundamentally different. Its electric motors can adjust torque almost instantaneously, allowing the truck to increase, reduce, or redistribute power with a level of precision that's measured in fractions of a second. This isn't about adding power just for the sake of performance. It's about keeping an enormous machine under control before it reaches the point where control is lost. The moment one side of the truck begins to lose traction, the system can immediately reduce torque to those wheels, increase it where grip is still available, or combine those adjustments with selective braking to guide the vehicle back onto its intended path. Under normal driving conditions, most people would never notice any of this happening. But on ice, where every mistake is magnified, that advantage becomes impossible to ignore. Another detail that's easy to miss is that the trailer in the test wasn't empty. Dan Priestley explained that the trailer was carrying a load, including concrete ballast positioned over the fifth wheel and solid steel bars distributed throughout the rest of the trailer. This type of cargo has a relatively low center of gravity, making it well suited for testing. Even so, it demonstrates something important. Tesla wasn't showcasing the system with a lightweight, easy-to-control setup. It was validating the technology with a trailer carrying a meaningful real-world load. That said, it's important to keep the results in perspective. This is still a video released by Tesla, not an independent crash study or third-party validation. No control system can override the laws of physics. Road conditions, vehicle speed, payload, tire grip, crosswinds, and even driver input can all influence the outcome. So, claims that the Semi can't jackknife should be viewed as a strong marketing message rather than an absolute guarantee. What's more important is the engineering behind it. The Tesla Semi's electric platform genuinely offers physical advantages that are difficult for conventional diesel trucks to replicate. Its battery pack sits low in the chassis, lowering the vehicle's center of gravity. Its electric motors can respond almost instantly. Torque can be controlled with far greater precision, and the software is able to coordinate the entire powertrain and stability system as one fully integrated platform, instead of relying on separate mechanical systems reacting one after another. Now let's talk about some of the subtle but meaningful changes inside the Tesla Semi's cabin. The updated Semi retains its signature center seat driving position, but the dual 15-inch displays have been upgraded to 16-inch QHD screens mounted on either side of the steering column. The central seating position has always been an intentional design choice. It keeps both displays within the driver's natural field of view, eliminating the need to turn their head. It's a layout that prioritizes situational awareness over styling, a sensible approach for a truck expected to cover hundreds of miles during a single shift. Tesla describes the redesigned interior as an office on wheels, and the ergonomic improvements help justify that claim. The cup holders have been moved higher for easier access, the side storage compartments have been enlarged, and the steering wheel controls have been arranged so they can be operated intuitively with one hand. The side windows now extend farther into the door panel, making it easier for drivers to reach outside the cab, a direct result of feedback gathered during early prototype testing. The camera system has also been refined. As we mentioned earlier, the production version of the Tesla Semi uses 10 exterior cameras, down from the 26 cameras found on earlier prototypes. They're mounted lower on the vehicle, in a configuration similar to the Model 3 and Model Y, and are designed to support Tesla's long-term full self-driving ambitions. Samsung serves as the exclusive camera supplier for the Semi platform. In an electric truck, the displays aren't just screens, they're the truck's operational hub. They can show navigation, battery status, energy consumption, charging information, camera feeds, safety alerts, trailer status, and in the future, potentially even interfaces related to FSD supervised. A Tesla Semi that covers 100,000 miles a year can't afford to rely on a cluttered or confusing user interface. If a driver spends just a few extra seconds searching for critical information, those seconds add up thousands of times over the truck's lifetime. And if the camera views aren't intuitive, driver fatigue increases when maneuvering through tight depots, merging onto highways, or navigating busy port terminals. That's why the redesigned cabin isn't just about making drivers more comfortable. It's part of a much bigger equation: maximizing uptime. The reality is that a semi-truck generates no revenue while it's sitting in a repair shop. According to the figures Tesla has shared, the Tesla Semi fleet has now accumulated roughly 13.5 million miles of real-world operation. One individual Semi has already surpassed 440,000 miles. More importantly, Tesla says the fleet is achieving around 95% uptime, with approximately 75% to 80% of service issues resolved within 24 hours, and nearly half addressed in less than 1 hour. A 95% uptime rate carries enormous commercial value. In freight transportation, trucks make money only when they're on the road. The more time they spend in the shop, the more money they cost instead of earning. And this is where Tesla seems to be maturing in its approach to the Semi. The early Semi models garnered attention for their unusual design, powerful acceleration, futuristic cabin, and promise to revolutionize the transportation industry. But the latest versions beginning to show a different direction: more practical, closer to logistics operations, and less like a concept car. Tesla is learning to transform the Semi into a work tool, not just a technological icon.